You will be shocked when you learn about the mysterious tomb of the king of the ANUNNAKI. Today I will tell you about the amazing finds associated with this ancient civilization, which is still shrouded in secrets and myths. Who are the ANUNNAKI? Where did they live and at what time? What is known about their mysterious king, and how scientists discovered his tomb? What amazing and inexplicable things were found in this burial, which call into question our understanding of history. Get ready, it will be interesting. Who are the Anunnaki? Well, let's start with this. Who are these Anunnaki? These are deities from mythology with ancient roots, one of the earliest and most influential civilizations on Earth. They are mentioned in the Sumerian, Akkadic, Assyrian and Babylonian texts, dating from the 3rd to the 1st millennium BC. But in fact, these creatures appeared much earlier. The word Anunnaki is translated from the Sumerian language as descendants of Anu, royal blood. An was the supreme god of the sky in the Sumerian pantheon, and the Anunnaki were considered his descendants. Mythology. Anunnaki were important deities who played a key role in cosmogony and governance. They were associated with fate, justice, and the underworld. Some texts describe them as judges from the afterlife, deciding the fate of souls after death. The Anunnaki were often contrasted with the younger gods of the heavens, but personally, it is not this that amazes me, but the fact that in ancient belief the Anunnaki were humanoid reptiles, and this is mind-boggling. After all, what you will learn next can shock you. Where the Anunnaki lived, and at what time. The Anunnaki are associated with regions of ancient Sopoti, modern territories of Iraq, Syria, Turkey, and Iran. The region, located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, is known as the Fertile Crescent and is considered the cradle of civilization. The first cities arose here, such as Dur, Uruk, Nippur, and Lagash, where the foundations of writing, mathematics, astronomy, and law were born, and many say that it was from these incomprehensible creatures that our civilization originated. The time period associated with the Anunnaki covers several millennia, possibly from the 10th millennium BC ending with the 1st millennium BC. During this period, the Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian and Assyrian cultures developed, each of which contributed to the mythology and religious beliefs of the region. It is quite possible that all of these cultures were based precisely on the teachings of the Anunnaki. What is known about the Anunnaki king in mythological texts? The Anunnaki are not presented as a single group with one leader or king in the human sense. However, some deities stood out for their power and influence. For example, Enlil, god of air and earth, often considered the supreme god possessing enormous power over other gods and people. His sanctuary was in Nippur, which was considered a religious center. Another important deity was Enki, god of water, wisdom, and magic. Lived in the city of Eriduhe, was known for his knowledge and was considered the patron of humanity. And Nano in Akkadian mythology, and Shtar was the goddess of love, fertility, and war, playing a role in many myths. Although there are no direct references to the Anunnaki king, some researchers believe that the title may be associated with the supreme gods or important mythological figures such as Gilgamesh, the legendary king of Uruk described in the epic about his search for immortality. Doesn't it seem to you that some religions that appeared at about the same time have similar features? And the reason for this was the same time frame of all currently existing religions. Judaism is considered the oldest, since it originated in the 2nd millennium BC, and as you already understood, the Anunnaki existed even earlier. Surprising, isn't it? Search for the tomb of the Anunnaki king. In recent decades, archaeologists have been actively exploring the territory with ancient boots, trying to uncover the secrets of the most mysterious civilizations. In 2018, an international group of Scientists began excavations in the area of the ancient city of Urone, of the most important centers of Sumerian culture, or is known for its ziggurat step temples, dedicated to the gods. The purpose of the expedition was to study previously unexplored areas of the necropolis, where the burials of high-ranking officials, of the jurets and possibly kings, could be located. It was assumed that the new finds will help to better understand religious practices and the social structure of Sumerian society. But what they found shocked everyone. Excavations brought completely unexpected results. At a depth of about 50 m, a vast underground structure was discovered, consisting of several chambers and corridors. The walls were decorated with bas-reliefs and maple inscriptions depicting scenes from myths about the Anunna and religious rituals. Particular interest was aroused by the central hall, where there was a massive sarcophagus made of black basalt. The sarcophagus was decorated with complex carved images of deity symbols and mysterious signs. Inside were the remains of a man surrounded by rich burial gifts, gold jewelry, weapons, vessels made of precious metals and stones. Analysis of the remains showed that it was a man aged about 40-50 years, tall and strong-built. It is assumed that he could have been a high-ranking priest or ruler. Radiocarbon analysis showed that the burial is approximately 12 and 0 years old. True, the Iranian authorities claimed that the bodies are no more than 900 years old, although this was deliberately false information. Who is this person? Why are the authorities hiding the real age of the burial? How did they create this amazing underground burial? Who built all this? Where did such technologies come from? More questions than answers. Amazing and inexplicable things. Among the found artifacts were objects arousing special interest and questions. For example, a gold tablet with a detailed image of the starry sky on which the constellations and planets were marked with an accuracy that amazes modern astronomers. How could people in ancient times create something similar? I am personally shocked that something like this could be done approximately 12 years ago, and most importantly that all this was buried at such a great depth. Another mystery was the collection of cylindrical seals on which scenes were depicted, the interpretation of which causes disputes among scientists. Some believe that they depict mythological plots, others see in them symbolic representation of natural phenomena or social relations. Special attention attracted objects made of an unknown metal. Alloy chemical analysis showed the presence of rare elements, which are not often found in nature in pure form. The technology of manufacturing these objects remains unclear, who raises questions about the capabilities of metallurgy of that time. Although it seems to me all this could have been produced not by people, but by someone else. Why? Anunnaki were depicted in the form of humanoid lizards. Are they aliens by chance? Reaction of the scientific community. The discovery caused a wide resonance in academic circles. Many historians and archaeologists expressed admiration for the level of development of the Sumerian civilization reflected in the found artifacts. They pointed out the need to revise some ideas about the technological and scientific progress of ancient societies. However, some scientists called for caution in interpretations, pointing out the danger of speculation and unfounded hypotheses. Questions were raised about the need for a deeper analysis and the involvement of specialists from different fields, metallurgists, astronomers, linguists. Personally, it seems to me that such rhetoric and sound, in several cases of them, is exactly what scientists say. More details and analysis are needed to understand how exactly such structures were created. But personally, I have a question. Are they trying? Are they hiding something from us by chance? Is it possible that scientists are hiding the remains of a super civilization of alien beings that for some reason died on our planet, or maybe they just flew away, leaving behind religious teachings. Write your opinion in the comments. The significance of the find for history. Naturally, the finds in the tomb provide a unique opportunity to deepen our knowledge of the Sumerian civilization. They allow us to better understand religious beliefs, rites, and rituals, as well as the social structure of ancient society. Artifacts testify to the high level of skill of artisans and artists, as well as a developed system of trade and exchange. Clay tablets with cuneiform may contain valuable historical information. Myths, laws, or economic records, their deciphering may take years but can potentially change our understanding of the history of the region. True. All this does not close the main question. How could such a thing be created in ancient times? Secrets that have yet to be solved, and even despite extensive research, many questions remain unanswered. For example, what was the meaning of the symbols and images found? What technologies were used to create complex metal products? Did the Sumerians have knowledge and methods that were lost? In subsequent eras, archaeologists plan to continue excavation, shopping to find additional chambers or connections with other underground structures. The use of modern technologies, such as ground-penetrating radar and 3D modeling, can help in this process. We can only hope that all the findings will really be made public. Not the first time archaeologists hide from ordinary people what they discover on the ruins of ancient civilizations. Of course, you can say that all this is a joke and that I'm crazy, but doesn't it all seem strange to you? It is quite possible that the real information is hidden behind a veil of secrecy after all. Now, there are already statements that people have discovered signals from extraterrestrial, intelligent civilizations. Maybe the Anunnaki came from their myths and reality. But let's not go to extremes around the Anunnaki. There really are many myths and legends which are often mixed with scientific data. In popular culture, they are sometimes presented as aliens or ancient astronauts who visited the Earth in the distant past. Such theories have been popularized in books and films, but have no scientific evidence. Scientists once again emphasize the importance of critical thinking and relying on evidence, and the Anunnaki in Sumerian mythology symbolized divine powers and natural phenomena, reflecting the worldview and cultural values of their time. Of course, people could portray real aliens as divine beings, and I am inclined to this theory. It is not for nothing that no new saint has appeared in 100 years. Influence on modern culture. As you could understand, interest in the Anunnaki and ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia does not fade away, and today they inspire writers, artists, directors to create works of art, films, and literature. Their images are used in video games, comics, and other media. However, it is important to distinguish fiction from historical reality. It is quite possible that everywhere where the Anunnaki were depicted in the form of reptile turned out to be false. Who knows what the gods really look like? But let's not talk about that, but rather focus on the technical innovations that were discovered during excavations. The Sumerian civilization was one of the most advanced. At one time, they invented cuneiform, one of the first writing systems, developed the calendar, basic mathematics and geometry. Their knowledge of astronomy allowed them to predict eclipses and understand the movement of the planets. The Sumerians were also skilled engineers and builders. They erected ziggurats complex and regulation systems, canals and dams. Their metallurgy included working with bronze and gold, which is confirmed by the artifacts found, and most importantly, all this could have come from the Anunnaki after all. During excavations, very similar design elements were discovered in ancient structures. Maybe the Sumerians are descendants of an ancient, more powerful civilization. Who knows? However, here I would like to note one more fact: religion played a central Role in the life of the Sumerians. They believed that the gods control all aspects of life and nature. Temples were not only religious, but also administrative centers, where records were kept, trade, and city management. Myths and epics such as the Epic of Gilgamesh passed down from generation to generation, shaping the cultural identity and moral values of society. They served as a source of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the world. Perhaps all this time, the Sumerians talked about real aliens from other planets, but what is really important for us is the legacy of the Sumerian civilization. After all, it had a huge impact on the subsequent existence of mankind. Their achievements were adopted by the Acacia, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, and other peoples. Many of their inventions and ideas became the foundation for the development of mankind understanding. The history of the Sumerians helps us to understand the roots of modern civilization and appreciate the progress achieved over a millennium. That is why it is so important to study the past, especially if it is so mysterious, like the existence of the ANUNNAKI. Why would aliens help us? And in conclusion, I would like to discuss with you one stupid, scientifically unskilled, but still important question. Let's assume that once upon a time, in ancient times, alien civilizations really flew to us on Earth. We can find a lot of amazing facts and theories. What are the ancient pyramids in Egypt? Worth are the amazing caves located all over the world? They certainly don't look man-made. And yet the government is trying to assure us that in fact all this was done by man personally. It seems to me that the Anunnaki and other ancient civilizations were created from outside. The so-called gods could well have existed. But these are far from fictitious entities, but aliens that existed before, who flew to Earth to help the local population develop. Why would they do this? It's quite possible to raise offspring, to participate in battles, or just for fun. Or maybe they helped us in ancient times, out of the best intentions. In any case, humanity will never know the truth, only if a time machine is created. Or another fact is found that aliens really exist, by the way. On this account, I have already voiced the fact that recently scientists declared a connection with intelligent beings in space. It is quite possible that we will soon meet them. And after all, there have long been many theories about that in reality. Contact has been established. Would you like to see a video on this topic? Yes. Then be sure to write about it in the comments. Today we plunged into the mysterious world of ancient Sopots and touched the secrets hidden for millennia. Write your thoughts on this matter in the comments. And I would like to once again note the fact how educated and technically savvy the Anunnaki were, how many interesting things they created. It's just shocking.